Okay, so we ended with oil seeps and mudslides. What do we know about oil seeps and mudslides? So I think, well, let's talk about this in terms of what we saw on the last field trip. So oil, both the seeps and all the offshore oil, and the Bakersfield oil, right? They're all coming from these weird little isolated basins that were created during borderland extension, where we started to have a lot of organic matter that was preserved between these blocks in the Monterey Formation. Okay, so on this last field trip, our little field class, last walk, we walked out on the Monterey Formation. All right, if we were going to do well, let's just sort of look at east-west. So this was an east-west transect, and we were seeing kind of obliquely all of these exposures on the coast. So this lower line, let's call this lower line our sea level line. So we're walking on the beach here. All right, oh, here's our beach. All right, so if we look here, this is my north-south transect, so ignore that for now. East-west, we saw a bunch of Monterey, and we were looking at a high angle to the structure, but we were seeing all these like fractured up Monterey, right? And you can see a lot of it was super organic rich. We weren't seeing the tar seeps right there though, but we were seeing there was tons of little fractures in it, right? And all those little fractures had oil. So some of you guys are squinting here. This says east to west. This says Monterey, okay? And so we just walked this Monterey. And then right before we got to the first tar seep here, we just went and saw a little bit of Sisquoc, the upper portion of the Monterey, and then there was a big tar seep right there. Okay, and then once we saw that first tar seep, we were in these younger rocks, and these were all sediments that formed in a channel less than 1 million years ago, and they were all filled with dikes, sills, and there was just tar everywhere as a mess. And a lot of you guys ended on just like tar mess, and it just looked like everything exploded on us. A few of us who walked a little further could see that the tar was also coming over the 40,000 year terrace, but it was also intruding all of these young sediments here. Okay, so why was it located there? Well, in map view, if we were looking down on it, we were seeing the top of an anticline. So if we had a north-south cross section, and we were looking on the beach, so this would be north and this would be south, so we were walking right on this sort of contact of the Monterey and the Sisquoc all the time. What we were basically looking at was an anticline of the Monterey. And so what's happening there in the Monterey, all here, but also offshore, is that all of this oil within the Monterey that's forming in the shale there, it's migrating on all these tiny little fractures. And as it migrates on these fractures, it pools up into any structural traps that it can pool into. And so this anticline that we were looking at, a corner of it, the Sisquoc was forming the seal to the trap, right? So we basically put it up like so, okay? There's fractures, all the oil's migrating, but it gets trapped by the Sisquoc. But this channel, this 1 million year channel, it cut the Sisquoc trap. So it cut this anticline. So if we were just going to look across this anticline, this is cutting down in through the Sisquoc, right? And allowing all of this oil to migrate up into those loosely consolidated sediments. And that's why we had all these seeps right here, is because this channel that was cutting down through the units 1 million years ago as the margin was being uplifted, it cut into the Monterey so that oil could migrate through. And that oil is being generated right now, and it's migrating through. But it's probably been generated for over the last 1 million years and migrating into these rocks. So I think this is the reason I wanted you to go, just think about that, think about the distribution of it, is because this is the same relationship you see out in the oil fields. And so I kind of expect that you guys could be able to articulate the major elements of a petroleum system. So we had, 6 elements that we identified